Wrong notes again.
Yeah, all right, Jimmy. Jonathan's doing his best.
So I'll do it myself. Where is Vivian anyway?
Look, Jonathan's fine. It's only for one morning. We can manage without her.
Can we?
I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
That's all right if you're busy.
No, nothing we can't sort out.
Well, I was wondering if I could have a quiet word with someone in charge.
Oh, yes, well, that would be me. If you'd like to come through. Please, take a seat.
Thank you for sparing the time. I shan't keep you long.
How can I help you?
My name's Claire Jarrett. It's about my husband, Graham.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there. I cannot discuss medical issues unless your husband is actually present.
I wish it was that simple.
Graham Jarrett. Oh, my goodness, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I remember the posters. Didn't he have a beard?
A big, bushy, prickly beard, yes, that was Graham.
And he was a patient here, wasn't he?
At the old place, Riverside. At Dr. Maguire, if you remember him. Yes, it was 7 years ago now.
Yes, I remember Dr. Maguire.
I didn't even know that Graham was seeing a doctor. I mean, he never seemed to be ill, never a cold or a day off work. I found these.
Antidepressants?
Would a man who's been prescribed these be likely to take his own life? I've been clearing out some of his stuff.
That can't be easy.
Time moves on.
Even so.
It's like living in a museum. It's not fair to Peter.
And who's Peter?
Friend.
Oh. Well, it seems like you're moving on very nicely.
Well, it's not bad, is it? Well, I've always known... Well, I always thought I knew that Graham was still out there somewhere, but it's been 7 years. And that is a long time on your own.
Yeah, I know.
And he's been very kind. And he's been very patient. When I found these, I just need to know if he was depressed or if...
Claire, I'm sorry. I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to.
Hey, come back! Oh! Ouch! Oh! You were stealing from the church. Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You'll have a fight on your hands if you try taking anything from me.
You okay?
Jimmy, would you mind telling me what's going on? According to our records, we...
Yeah, well, Gormless Jonathan's in charge of the records today.
Jonathan is doing an excellent job under very trying circumstances. What I want to know is why you are treating a dead man for depression.
Well, I'd be depressed if I would.
Not funny, Jimmy. This is serious. Graham Jarrett, missing, presumed dead since 2002, but miraculously still on our books and still receiving treatment.
Must be a different Graham Jarrett.
Next of kin, Claire Jarrett. Now that would be the same Claire Jarrett that has just been into my office telling me how hard her life has been since her husband walked out on her without saying a word 7 years ago.
Well, I don't see it's any of our business.
He's a missing person.
No, he's not. He lives at flat 17, Hazelwood House, Marchwell Wood, Leatherbridge.
Matt put you up to this.
What?
He knew that Graham had run out on his wife and he deliberately kept quiet about it.
Well, it's possible, but he didn't say anything to me.
That is so typical.
Well, of Graham?
No, of Mac.
should have minded your own business.
You were stealing from the church.
It wasn't stealing.
Oh, you're connected with the charities concerned, are you?
No. I asked permission, all right?
Oh, from whom exactly? That's not what prayer is about.
Well, it works for me.
No, you don't.
Get off me! Shut up, Vicar! Please. I hear you.
Well, that was the idea.
He's my dad.
This is wrong. This is so wrong. You know, either our records have gone seriously haywire,
Which is not exactly impossible.
or we have been harbouring a fugitive.
Graham's not a fugitive.
Jimmy, he's abused our professional goodwill. It puts me in a very awkward position.
Well, there's not much we can do about it.
Oh, isn't there? Well, I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Don't do anything rash.
Milk. Chocolate cake? If you don't want it. So, stealing from your father's church and running away?
Not running away.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just the usual.
And what's that?
My parents, my boyfriend.
They don't get on.
He's 19. Like that's a problem.
How old are you, Sarah?
I said you wouldn't understand.
I haven't always been this age, you know. When I was about your age, I had an older admirer. My parents were not too happy about that either.
Did you sleep with him?
How old are you?
Old enough.
I'm sorry, but what? So who are you exactly?
Oh, I work at the Mill, Mill Health Centre with Dr. Clay, and you're registered with us. Is Mrs. Jarrett at home?
No, she's there is no Mrs. Jarrett. Who are you?
Oh, sorry, I'm Julia Parsons. Look, I don't mean to bother you, but, well, we've got this clerical error with our records, I'm afraid, and, well, it appears that we have 2 Graham Jarretts on our database, and I think your details have got mixed up with his.
Okay.
You see, you're not married, but, it says here that your next of kin is a Mrs. Claire Jarrett. You see?
I see.
So, this isn't you then?
No.
And you've never lived at 127 Millhouse Lane?
Well, what is this?
With your wife, Claire Jarrett?
Would you please leave my house?
Who hasn't seen her husband for 7 years.
Go away!
You know, Graham, you may have shaved off your beard, but you haven't fooled me.
So, what's the plan?
I'm going to Birmingham. I'll stay with Jace. He's got a flat.
I see.
He loves me.
I'm sure he does. You know, when I was about your age, I answered my mother back for the first and last time. It was bedtime and she locked me out of the house. It was the middle of winter, without a coat.
What?
For 3.5 hours.
She could have been arrested for that.
In my day, you just had to accept it.
I'm not going anywhere until you explain this to me.
Go away.
No.
Who are you?
I'm Julia Parsons.
What are you doing in my flat? Who do you think you are?
Actually, I'm more interested in who you think you are, Graham. It is Graham, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
Well, I don't understand this. I'd like you to explain this to me.
It's none of your business! Your facts are correct. You've had your say. Now you just go. If I want to disappear, it's my decision. I thought you lot understood this. Dr. Maguire certainly did.
Dr. Maguire knew you were missing?
Dr. Maguire respected the privacy of his patients, as will you. Unless you want me to consult my lawyers.
I've seen them, Sarah. I've been a nurse. I've seen girls like you coming off the streets with black eyes, broken noses, needle marks up their arms, and worse.
Not me.
Not yet, thank goodness.
Not ever. Jace will look after me.
Oh, he's a saint.
Don't be like that.
I don't mean to be harsh, and I don't want to jump up and down on your dreams, but he's a young man. He should be courting women of his own age. And if he's not, doesn't that make him rather a pathetic individual?
He is not pathetic.
Well, if he's not pathetic, then he's worse, and you know what I'm saying.
We love each other.
Quite possibly. But it's not right. Would you go out with someone that much younger than you?
You think I'm an idiot?
No. But I do think you're very young.
I can't go home.
Of course you can. There's only me knows you've even left home.
It's Dad. He never rings me at school.
You're not at school.
Exactly, he knows.
Sarah, where are you going?
It's none of your business. It never was.
It's him.
Who?
Graham Jarrett. I mean, he tried to deny it and he shaved off his beard, but...
Well, wait a minute. You've seen him?
Yeah, I went round to his flat.
What did you say? Are you the missing Graham Jarrett?
Pretty much, yeah.
You can't do that. You're the one that's always banging on about patient confidentiality. I mean, we fired Donna for that. You fired Donna for that.
Well, that was different.
I don't believe this.
Look, I just...
He's a sick man, Julia. Yeah, maybe he didn't kill himself 7 years ago, but that doesn't mean he's not at risk now. Have you thought of that?
What? This man ran out on his wife.
There are worse sins in the world. He's our patient. He's under our care. He doesn't need you bullying him.
Bullying?
Yes, if this gets out...
We've got to do something, haven't we? I mean, we can't just have a missing man on our books.
Why not? Why are you risking your career over this?
Because I am sick to death of men thinking that they can just walk out whenever they please. Anyway, Claire needs to get on with her life.
It's not our decision.
You're as bad as Mac.
Give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I think that you should just go home and talk to your parents.
The lecture begins.
No, I said I wouldn't.
I can't.
Why not? You were going to rob the church.
That's different.
Entirely different. This is a gift. That should keep you from prostitution for the first week at least.
Oh my goodness. You're busy?
Should have done it years ago. They're all Graham's. Peter's been giving me a hand.
Just moral support, really. He won't catch me doing any hard work.
Peter, this is Julia Parsons from the Mill Health Centre.
Thank you. Claire, this is a bit awkward, actually. You see, I've been thinking about those drugs that you showed me.
But I thought you couldn't tell me anything about them.
Nothing specific, no, not really. But what I can tell you is that the main reason for prescribing that particular drug is to combat the severe symptoms of clinical depression.
Well, it's pretty much what we expected.
Doesn't make it any easier, though.
I know.
Will it help?
Will it help what?
The coroner's requested an inquest. Evidence of clinical depression would probably help demonstrate exposure to a specific peril of death.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's been 7 years, Julia.
I still don't understand.
Claire wants Graham declared dead.
Oh.
Officially. An inquest will allow us to get a death certificate.
There are various practical advantages.
Mainly the insurance, really.
Life insurance? No, you can't.
You think I'm terrible?
No, it's not that.
No, it seems cold and calculating, but Graham paid all those premiums and the money is just sitting there.
What if he's not dead? I'm sorry, but we don't know that, do we?
That is very kind of you, Julia. And I have lived on that hope for 7 years. But when everyone else told me he was gone, but now I know. Those pills and your help, I can see it now. He is not coming back, and I need to move on.
It's not going to be easy.
Like you'd know.
Don't think your Jace is going to hang around. He probably doesn't even know you're leaving. He could well be horrified when you turn up on his doorstep with all your worldly goods and £40.
Stop it!
And when he spent the £40, do you really think he's going to hang around? Is he really going to introduce his little girlfriend to all his 20-year-old friends? And then what are you going to do? Have you decided which railway platform you're going to sleep on?
Just stop it!
Stop what?
Your stupid, silly games. It's none of your business, you old
Busybody.
witch. You're an old witch.
Well, if you're going to go, why don't you go now? That's right, you go. You get them back for all the pain they've caused you.
You evil old cow. You think you're really good at this game, don't you?
You know, I am beginning to think that Leatherbridge will be a lot better off for you leaving. I really feel for your parents. I mean, who would want such a foul-mouthed little thief living under their roof?
I am not a thief.
I'd like my money back, please.
I really need it.
Well, you should have thought of that before you called me an evil old cow. I'd like my money, please.
Graham? What are you doing here?
I was very rude when you came round.
Yes, you were.
It was a bit of a shock, to be honest. Finding the flat and all my life history set out in your little file.
Well, I suppose I was a bit harsh.
How is she? How's Claire?
Graham, I don't understand this. If you still love her, then...
Always. Always.
But you ran away.
It was the shock. I thought we were doing fine. We didn't have any kids, but it was early on in the relationship. And then such a shock to find that the person you live with, the person you love, hates and despises you.
She told you that?
Sometimes when you're close to somebody, you can't see what's happening, and you need somebody else. You need a friend, a good friend, to point out the reality. And she was trapped in a marriage to a man she didn't love, and I held the key to her cage.
Are you sure about all this?
I wouldn't have left otherwise.
You take that money, and that's the second step you've taken towards a life of crime.
Just take it. I thought you wanted to help.
This is me. Do you want a lift? I can take you into Birmingham, if that's what you want. No? Quite right. Never accept lifts from strangers. It's worth remembering when you're out there in the big bad world. You've got to look after yourself because nobody else will.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here.
Why not?
You can't just drive off and leave me here. You're sick. You're a sick, hard-twisted old woman. I'm only 15.
Then you should be at school or at home with your parents.
At least they wouldn't drive off and leave me here. No money.
Why not, if they don't love you?
I don't know anything about them. Leave them alone.
Come on, get in.
Jimmy, she's going to have him declared dead.
Huh.
So what if the grieving widow decides to marry Peter?
Peter?
The widow-to-be, soon-to-be fiancé, I think.
Well, that would make her a bigamist.
Jimmy?
It's a valid point.
Well, what am I going to do?
Now, this is fascinating, Julia. It really is, but I am up to date with paperwork, and I promised Vivian I'd have it done before she gets back.
Sorry.
Just trust your instinct.
Yeah, well, my instinct is usually to meddle in other people's business.
Well, then go meddle.
I don't think you're cut out for running away.
You don't even know me.
Yes, I do. I may not have had your dress sense or your vocabulary, but I managed to put my mum and dad through just the same amount of misery.
You ran away?
No. But I wasn't locked out for answering back. My mother believed I was pregnant.
No way.
No, I wasn't. But I might well have been.
You mean...
That's as maybe. But the point is, I was locked out in the snow and he ran off. He ran a mile when my father tried to have a word with him. So much for true love.
Well, Jace isn't like that.
That might be true, but if he loves you, if he's the one, then he'll wait for you. You can finish school and leave home properly with your mum and dad's blessing.
She'll still cry. I'm going to be in so much trouble.
Well, at least it's not snowing.
Hello again. Hi. Claire, I'm sorry. I just needed to ask you something. What if, hypothetically, okay, I told you that I had evidence that Graham was still alive?
Graham is dead, Julia. He was a good husband to Claire and he was a good friend to me, but he's gone. Claire has to move on with her life.
You knew Graham?
Oh, we were inseparable, yeah.
Oh, good friend, yeah. Right. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I think I've got some news for both of you. He's outside. Came with me.
You've shaved off your beard.
Whose grave is it?
My mother's. She died 2 years ago today.
I thought you hated her.
No. She was my mother.
I'm sorry for what I called you.
I was that, and worse. I've always enjoyed playing the devil's advocate, just a little too much. Maybe I'll plant some new flowers when the weather gets warmer.
That would be lovely.
Will you be here to see them?
Of course.
So, is he well?
Well, physically, he's been keeping in shape.
Good, good.
It was you, wasn't it?
Where's he been all this time?
Why would you do something like that?
Not work for 7 years, and then...
I mean, how could you?
What? I wasn't to know he'd just run off. Hasn't been easy for me, you know.
I beg your pardon.
I have had this on my conscience for 7 years. I was convinced he'd gone and topped himself. Can you imagine that?
You stole 7 years of their lives. You may even have stolen their child's
He has never
family.
been right for her. He is pathetic. Look how he reacted.
So what did you say to him?
I told him she didn't love him, that's all.
Oh, that's all?
Yes! What kind of a nobody takes a friend's word for something like that?
Well, maybe it depends on how much he trusts the friend.
He was the one who walked out.
Because he loves her. You really don't get this, do you?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, that man loves her so much that when he thought he was hurting her, it made him run.
That man is soft in the head.
You're unbelievable.
He is the one who walked out.
Oh, you walked right in.
It wasn't like that.
Huh? Bit slow though, weren't you?
Well, I didn't expect to be dealing with a grieving widow.
Oh.
I had to take things slowly.
Oh dear, poor you. And then just when you thought that your chance had come, the nobody walks back into her life. No, you don't. Right, well,
Peter.
I'll leave you to it.
Peter?
It was him. He lied.
Julia, I thought you were here all morning. I wouldn't have left.
Oh, it's all right, Vivian. Something came up, but everything's under control.
Who's in charge?
Jonathan.
Jonathan? Isn't he a bit...
Yeah, well, I think everything's under control. I didn't really like to meddle, you know.
No, of course not. If everything's under control. I'm not one to interfere myself.
No, I mean, it doesn't do to stick your nose in.
Perish the thought. On the other hand, he is very young.
Yeah, helping hand, you know, never did any harm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Daddy's just going to have to take the day off work. The powers that be at the mill won't be happy about that, will they? No.
Tell me you didn't know anything about this.
I was there.
That's it. Daddy's out of ideas.
Daddy?
Mum.
Archie.
Thank you very much. You've been a great help.
A woman in the shape of her life dies mysteriously. Diagnosis murder next on BBC1 Scotland.